Hey guys, welcome to another episode of LFA's Chop Shop. This episode's a bit different because I filmed it over 6 months ago. So I was waiting for the 30k challenge to hit $8,000, and if you watched last week's episode, you know we hit $12,000. So I sold the i30 and the Swift, so now I can officially buy this car and show you the video. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of LFA's Chop Shop. Today I've scraped together all of my money and I've bought an AMG. I'm as confused as you are. So it's 7:30 in the morning. I've just got home from night shift. You can tell it's very foggy. It's about 8 or 9 degrees at the moment. And this is the new project. I say project, but I'm just going to be parting it out. But as you can see, the back is heavily damaged. So I bought this off a mate of mine for $8,000 for the Model A challenge. So I'm hoping to turn this into $20,000 or $25,000. I'm really not sure what these are worth, but we'll see how we go. So the engine is about 10 grand worth, then the front end's probably 4 or 5 grand worth, so let's get stuck into it. The first important question, does it run? Yes it does. So it's a 6.2 litre V8, they market it as a 6.3, but it is a 6.2. Has a lot of malfunctions on the dashboard because of the back end. And the fans are incredibly loud. So I looked at this on Saturday, I got it delivered on Sunday, and it's now Tuesday morning. I slept all of Monday, I went to work last night. So now I'm going to get stuck into it, have a look at it, see what I can pull off and see what I can sell. So I have a guy interested in the front end panels, so the headlight, the bumper, the rad support and all of the fans and radiators and the bonnet. So he's super keen on that stuff, and the seats should sell really easily, the wheels should sell really easily, so I'm going to try and get those things out today. So hopefully I'll get some parts off today and be able to try and advertise them a bit better than I am at the moment, get them sold and make my money back. So this is the Mercedes running with the 66,000 kilometre 6.2 litre. Super smooth, but the fans are quite loud. I'll come around the back and show the exhaust note. And to the dashboard. Get through all of the alarms. 66,484 kilometers. So the next important question. It's got 66,484 Ks. It runs really well. It's got pretty much no gas in it, but it sounds really good. So the next question, does it drive? And the answer is yes it does. So I can't really drive it anywhere because it is absolutely smashed in the back, but I can move it around my yard so I can pull it apart. There's no power steering, so this is really heavy. I'll just move the Merc onto the cement so I can start pulling it apart. Obviously I can't rev it too much because it's quite early in the morning and it is cold, so I'll let the car warm up and I'll let the time pass by and then I will give it a rev or two and show you some sound clips. So this is a 2012 C63 AMG, Mercedes W204, and like I said before, rear wheel drive with the 6.2 litre V8. So the plan of today is to pull the bonnet off and probably pull the headlights out, the bumper off and all of the front end with the rad support and everything. I have a guy in Brisbane that's keen on all that stuff, so try and get my money back as quickly as I can. So I'll try and get stuck into that and pull that apart. But I'd like to hear it run a few times and give it a few sound clips and enjoy it while it's still running before I pull the radiator out and the oil cooler's off. As you can see, the back end's quite smashed. Pretty cool. So have a quick look at the interior. Got the leather bucket seats, all the fancy dash, fancy steering wheel, of course, being AMG. And then the back seats, leather, quite nice as well. So someone's pulled this apart a bit to try and fix it or to inspect the damage. And then everyone that has owned it, so a few people have owned it since the crash, and they've all decided it's not worth fixing. Which is where I stepped in and bought it off a mate of mine. So he bought it as an impulse, just to try and part it out. And then he needed to recuperate his money as quickly as he could, so he sold it to me for a little bit more than he paid for it. And we settled on a deal, so now it's mine. So it's 3:30 now. We've been working on the Mercedes all day. They've gotten the front bumper off, both headlights off, the under trays, the side skirts, the guards, the inner guards. The other one's over there. So it looks like this now. And I'm waiting for a mate to come on and help me with the bonnet. And then I want to take off the front nose clip, so pretty much here forwards. And then that and all of that is going to a guy in Brisbane. And you can see the side skirt's missing. I've taken the carpet out, taken all of the side steps off, the chrome part, taken some of the dash apart, and tried to take the seats out. So I've got the front bolts on this one and the rear bolts on that one, and then the other two are stuck because the chair can't move and it's electric, so the bolts are stuck underneath it. So I managed to get one of those out, so there's 3 bolts missing in that one and just one left which I can't get undone, and this one's got 2 on the back left. So we're getting there, but that's been fighting me all day. So I just keep trying to do something, and if I get stuck I just move on to something else. So I've taken the whole back seat out and a lot of the trims in the back, and again the side step cover, and coming around the back pretty much as it was this morning. Then a pile of parts that I've taken off so far. So your parcel shelf, part of the engine cover, and bunch of carpet and trims, and then the back seat, and that's about it. So I'm back on the Mercedes today. It's been a while since I filmed anything. So the first day I got it, I filmed some stuff, and then I haven't really touched on it since. So I've been working on this about an hour or so every day. And I've got the whole front end and the rad support off, the bonnet and the bumper and the headlights. And that's all gone to a guy in Brisbane. I then pulled the wheels off, sold those for $1,000. Pulled the guards off, they are over there still. And I pulled the side skirts off, and I sold those for $450. So this currently, as it sits, with the engine, the trans, the diff, the brakes, the seats, everything still in it, it owes me $900. So today, I'm hoping I can cut the rest of it up, and cut some of it up, and start getting it into smaller pieces. So I've got a lot of the parts inside, and I'm not very happy about that, and M's not super stoked, so I need to try and move it on. But I've got all the door cards off, all the back ends out, come around, back seats out, and all of the wiring's been moved from the back to the back seat, and the roof's ready to come off, so I'll cut that off today. And coming around to the front seats, got the carpet out, the door cards off, the center console is removed, but there's a wire that goes to this and I can't find the plug for it, and I don't want to cut it. So that's that bit there. I've got the shifter out, got some of the dashboard parts off, and the carpet on that side and a bunch of stuff. So seat belts out the back, these covers on here are plastic covers, and then there's a chrome strip that says AMG, so that's all off. Got the center console out, so it's all coming together pretty well, just slowly because I can't get these seats out mainly. If I can get the seats out, then I'll be able to take the doors off and be able to move on a bit quicker. So today I'm hoping to get the roof off, and then maybe the seats out and the doors off, but I'm probably going to have to cut the car to get that to happen, which means I need to take the exhaust off and the tail shaft off, and then cut it in half this way, in front of or behind the seats, or both, pull the seats out with the back doors, and then try and get the bolts undone. So it's going to be a bit of a long day, and it's going to be a bit of a trying one, but see how we go. So I need to get some jack stands because I'm not going under it with bricks. That's just so I can get the wheels off and the side skirts off. So I need to get some jack stands and get under it, take the exhaust off, take the tail shaft out, and cut it up. So step one on my Mercedes wagon conversion, cut the parcel shelf out. Look how much room we got. So I cut that out because it's got the seat releases on it and I couldn't get them out. So I'll cut it out, put it to the side. So now before I cut the roof off, I need to get this trim off over the top of the roof and down the doors, and then it's ready to go. Step two, cut through the A pillars and the windscreen. So I need to cut this one, but the battery just went flat. And I started on the B pillars, but they were very thick, so they're going to take a while. So I'll cut through this one once the battery's charged, swap to the new blade and try and get through that one and that one, the B pillars, and the roof can come off. So it's been a couple of days working on the Mercedes. Got the doors off, got all of the inner guards out, the exhaust off, got the rear diff, brakes and cradle out, the roof off, everything from underneath. Back seats out still, obviously. Been working on the dashboard. Got the front suspension, the front subframe and the engine and trans out, which is all over here. So pretty much most of it's out now. Just got a few of the smaller bits on the car to go. So we still got all the aircon lines and all that sort of stuff. And behind the welder I got a bunch of the interior stuff. So slowly chipping away. So it's been a few days since I worked on the Merc again, but today should hopefully be the last day. So I've had the tarp around it because it's been raining the last few days. So I'll take that off and hopefully get it fully stripped today, and maybe cut up, and might even get it to the scrapyard. So although the Merc's almost stripped, I found these on Gumtree the other day, or Facebook. They're the Torx bits for this kind of job, and the other end, so the male and female of the Torx bits. So I grabbed those for 50 bucks because I figured I'm this far, I probably needed them, but now I don't really need them, but I'll grab them anyway. So this is where we're up to. The back end is mainly disassembled, the fuel tank's unbolted but still under the car. All of the wiring from the back's been moved to the back seat. The front seats are still in, the dash is still in, the steering column and steering wheel are still in, but the carpet's been removed, the center console has been removed, and we've still got the pedals in there as well. Then coming around to the front, we've got a few more things in the engine bay to remove. So we've got the power block, the ECU, a few little bits and pieces. Over this side we've got the fuse box and the booster and master. So hopefully get all that out today, cut the car in half, put it in the trailer and take it to scrap. So Nathan's rocked up and has been helping me for about an hour or so now. Got most of the wiring out of the engine bay. Finally got the dashboard out and the steering wheel out. So we just got all the wiring and the seats to go. So we're going to drop it down and lay this thing on its side so we can get the seats out, because we're going to have to cut holes for the bolts. So we've done some questionable things and the Mercedes is on its side now. So all we're going to do is find the bolt holes for the seats and cut the floor out. So we've been working on this for the afternoon. We've got pretty much every nut and bolt out, every rubber plug and everything we can find to undo. So we're struggling to cut it in half today, so we've given up on that idea. We had to cut the seats out, which you can see here. So we finally got the seats out. which is pretty awesome. So we're going to clean up on the other side of this and then lay it back down, clean up around it, and then when I get another day free, I can cut it in half and put it in the trailer and take it scrap. So it's been a pretty long day on the Merc today, but we got it all done. So the wiring looms over here, the diff and cradle's there. The shell is completely bare, not a bolt or a nut or a rubber grommet on it. And then there's a few bits I need to pack up still. All the stuff on the grass over there. And we got the subframe, taking the brakes off of that. Got the tail shaft off, got the engine wrapped up and ready to go if someone wants it. So just need to pack up. And then we cut this up and put it on the trailer and take it to scrap, and then focus on selling all the parts. So I did buy the Mercedes C63 a while ago, but I had the 30k challenge in mind, so I kept track of every cent. So I bought the car for 8 grand, sold the engine cover for $100, the wheels for $1,000, the front end, so the headlights, the rad support, the bumpers, the bonnet, the whole front clip, so the front like 6 inches of the car. Sold that for $5,550, which was crazy. That was like the second day I had the car, which was awesome. Sold the side skirts for $450, which left me with only $900 to make. So scrapped the car body and the battery and the change in the car. That got me to only owing $824.80. Found some coins in the seats, cut the exhaust up and sold the joins to one guy and the mufflers to another guy, which was kind of hilarious. And that left me with $252.80 left remaining. I then sold the cats from the exhaust, so these two and that one are all the same piece, for $140. So that got me down to almost $100 in the negative. I then sold the clock spring, the indicator stalk, and the steering column cover. Sold all that for $190, which got me in the positive finally. Sold the wheel speed sensors and the rear inner guard liners, which I never thought I would sell on anything, for $272. So that got me to $349.20 in the positive. Then I sold the right-hand side front control arms. So all of the control arms from the whole side, 5 of them. The rack end and the strut, all from the right, and the passenger's airbag to one dude for $650. Probably a bit cheap, but I was trying to get, trying to move some stuff on. So that got me just short of $1,000. So as a bit of a joke, I sold a piece of electrical plug to Emily for 80 cents and got me to $1,000. So I was $1,000 in the positive. So that means I've technically made 9 grand out of it, but paid 8 grand for it. So $1,000 in front. Then I sold the front inner guard plastics, which is crazy to me, and the interior light for $200. Sold the door cards for $290 on eBay. Sold the front camera for $100. Sold 2 dash vents, so just a little tiny vent about this big for $10. That was alright, better than nothing. Then sold the guards on eBay again for $350. I sold the floor mats on eBay as well for $150, and I sold a lower control arm for $75. So I'm currently at $21.75 in the green. So that was a bit of a mouthful, but I bought the car for 8 grand, and I've currently made $10,175 out of it. So I'm $2,175 in the green. So we'll add that to the 30k challenge and see what we're up to. So I've just added the C63 to the running tally that we had. So 8 grand, sold the i30, got it to $12,925.50. Bought the C63 for 8 grand a few months ago, but I paid myself back. $4,925.50 remaining. So then I sold all the C63 parts that I've sold so far for $10,175, which gets us to $15,100. So we're over halfway. That's awesome. So there's a few bits that are selling on eBay at the moment. So I've got a few $100 here and there coming in for this, and I've still got a heaps of stuff to sell in the backyard.